Hello, the basic bodice is the foundation upon which you lay any design. So for most sewing tutorials that I've released on this channel, if you notice, I would always start with the basic bodice because it is so important. There are various ways of making a basic bodice, but today I'm going to teach you one particular way. Of course, as we progress in this channel, I could release an updated version because there is no particular way of making a basic bodice. There is no universal way. The most important thing is that you arrive at the same point. So definitely, as you know, this video is going to be beginners friendly if you just learned how to sew, or maybe you've known how to sew for a while but you've not known how to sew the pattern drafting method. Then this video is definitely for you. If you're watching me for the first time, I'm the creative director of Ada's Empire and I release sewing tutorials every week. So stay subscribed to the channel as we go on. Before I start talking about the basic bodice, I would be giving you the reason behind the measurement. So the first measurement you take is the shoulder measurement. And for the shoulder measurement, what you should do is to divide your client's shoulder measurement into two. Then you would add 0.5 inch as allowance. For the neck, you divide into 6. For the bust point, you would add an allowance of 0.5. Don't worry, even though I have abbreviated all of these things, I will still explain it as we go on. Now for the bust, which is BT, you will divide your client's measurement into 4 and add SA, seam allowance of 1 inch. Then for the under bust measurement, you add allowance of 0.5 inch. For the half length, you would add allowance of 0.5 inch, and for the waist measurement you divide into 4 and add your seam allowance of 1 inch. Then for the armhole you just divide into 2. So those are the basic measurements you need for the basic bodice. I hope you've taken note of all of them and you have listed out your client's measurement just the same way I have done so. So right now, see what I'm doing. This is the shoulder measurement. My client's shoulder measurement is 14.5. I divide it by 2. I add my allowance of 0.5 inch and I'll get what I will get. Now I'm going to be using a ruler to differentiate the actual measurement with the ones I will do with the calculation. Now, as you know, I could have just gone ahead to tell you what to do for your basic bodice, but I'm giving you the rationale behind it so that you would know what exactly to do regardless of the measurement that you have. So as you can see, I will just go on to impute my client's measurement. So if you're watching me right now and you have a measurement with you, you can follow through and replicate exactly what I am doing. Now the only difference in all this is the half length. The half length is the HL. As you can see, there is no number for it, and that is because the half length is gotten from the under bust measurement, which is the UB. Of course, you can decide not to do it like this. You can decide to measure your client's shoulder to navel measurement at the half length, but this is the average way of getting the client's half length. As you can see, the client's UB, which is the under bust measurement, is 14 inches. When we would add the allowance of 0.5 inch, that would be 14.5 inches. Now the half length is gotten from your client's under bust measurement. What you would do is to add 2.5 inches to your client's under bust measurement. So as I said, my client's under bust measurement will become 14.5 inches. Now when I add 2.5 inches, whatever I get is what would be my client's half length measurement. So you can go ahead and do same. Another thing also is that in this measurement, I took the waist measurement, but I did not take my client's hips measurement. And that is because I generally don't take that measurement for the basic bodice, because not every design would require the hips measurement. So of course you can go ahead to take that measurement, but I did not take that measurement. That measurement will come in place when I'm drafting maybe a basic skirt, Then I will take that measurement and you can apply it in cases where we actually need the hips measurement, but for this case we don't need that. So now we're going to go on to drafting the actual basic bodice. The first thing to do is to take your client's shoulder measurement, which is 7.7 in my case. Now after marking it, you come down by 1 inch and mark that. Then you use your ruler and connect from the origin, which is the beginning of the paper, to what you've marked. The purpose of this is because the shoulder is not straight but slanted. Now the next measurement we'll take is our neck measurement. Now from the origin, which is the beginning of our basic bodice paper, we are going to measure our client's neck measurement, which is 2.2 in this case. So we'll mark out the 2.2 inches. Now after doing that, we would also mark out the 2.2 inches horizontally, which we are doing right now. Then we would add 0.5 inch for this horizontal measurement alone. Then use our ruler and mark out like a box. So this will serve as our basic neckline with which we use to lay other necklines. Now the next thing on our agenda is to mark out the bust point. So from the beginning right there of the slant, we would mark out our 10 inches. Now it's at this bust point measurement we will mark out our client's bust measurement. Our client's bust measurement is 9.7 inches, which we would mark out right there. Then we'll get our ruler and rule. So this makes up our client's bust measurement. Now the next measurement we are going to do is our client under bust measurement. So from the slant, we are going to mark out our 14.5 inches. Now once we've done that, remember what we talked about, the half length. That from our client's under bust measurement, we would add about 2.5 inches to get our client's half length. So from the under bust, we mark out 2.5 inches and that makes up the half length. Now it's at that half length measurement we'll get our client's waist measurement. So right there, we are going to mark out our client's 8 inches, which is their waist measurement. Then of course we'll use our ruler and rule that part. Then finally, we are going to link our client's waist with their bust using our ruler. Next on our agenda is the armhole measurement. So from the beginning of the slant, or rather the ending of the slant, because that's ending, we are going to mark out our client's 9 inches armhole. Once we do that, we'll get our ruler and just rule generally. Now of course we know that our armhole is not straight like this. We have curves. So after we've ruled out our 9 inches armhole, we are going to get the middle of that 9 inches, which is 4.5 of course. So then from the beginning of our armhole, we would mark out the 4.5 inches. And that is where the curve of the armhole will start from. So now we will get our curve ruler and curve out from that 4.5, which is the middle of the armhole, to the end of the armhole. Right now, I'm used to this, so I use my hands sometimes, and that's just why I did that. But you could use your curve ruler or your hand. Now we know that the back armhole is different from the front armhole. Well, if you don't know, now you do, because the front armhole goes inside. So from the middle, we would measure out 0.5 inch to the left. We'll mark it out and we would now connect our front armhole. So basically our front armhole and our back armhole are quite different from each other. The first one we did is our back armhole, but for the front we'll connect from the beginning of the armhole to the 0.5 inch that we've measured to the left to the end of the armhole. I use the green marker to differentiate. So there is a front armhole and a back armhole. I'm sure you must have seen this in my previous videos. So this is what makes up the basic bodice. Now we can leave the neck like this because of course this is not how the neck is, but we could just mark out 1.5 inches from the beginning of our box, that's to the right. Then of course we'll mark out 5 inches for the front neck and 1.5 inches for the back neck. I'm going to use the green marker for the front, just the same way I use a green marker for the armhole. Then of course I'm using the blue marker for the back, and that's just basically it. Now of course this neckline measurement is really unimportant right now, because once we start learning about necklines, you will know that different designs have different necklines, and that is okay. So that's just it about the basic bodice. Once you know this, trust me, you will be able to easily draft any design. So for most of our tutorials, I've said, okay, we are starting with our basic bodice. Now you know what it means to have a basic bodice, and now you can draft your basic bodice. So we are going to be cutting out. We'll first cut out the back, then later on we'll cut out the front. Don't worry, as we progress into these tutorials, as you stay glued to my channel, you're going to see lots of instances where we use the basic bodice and how we manipulate the basic bodice to suit the design we want. Of course, as we progress on this channel, I will still be giving you more updated versions of both the basic bodice and different designs. Don't worry, if you are here, learning is a must. So that's it about the making of a basic bodice. If you have enjoyed this video, I think you're going to benefit from the video on how to make a waterfall jacket, because it is also beginners friendly, and I've linked it up here for you to watch. I'm going to see you next week.